The Steven Universe movie is out, and ever since that first trailer dropped, we've been waiting with bated breath to know exactly what was going on, who was involved, and just how many absolutely adorable songs were going to make us cry. Now, finally, we know who that mysterious pigtailed baddie is. And we definitely added the soundtrack to our Spotify playlists. And I am not crying, you're crying! I'm Chris Carr, and today I'm talking to you about Spinel from Steven Universe the movie. Before we get to Spinel, I want to thank all of our patrons on Patreon. If you want to help, head on over to our Patreon page and see if a tier works for you. We'll reward you handsomely. Remember, liking, sharing, and subscribing are awesome ways to show your support. Obviously, y'all, here there be spoilers. Doing a character breakdown on the big bad of Steven Universe the movie means we'll be discussing key plot points and revelations from the film. You've been warned. After returning from space and dismantling the Diamond Empire, Steven Universe expects to slide into a carefree life, having finally earned a well-deserved happily ever after. This bliss is interrupted when a new gem threat comes to Earth, wreaking havoc. This mysterious new villain, who we knew little to nothing about prior to the film's release, is Spinel, a gem rocking Mr. Fantastic elasticity powers, and designed in that Disney 1930s animation, even going so far as to delivering a ragtime-style number to Steven about his other friends. Using her rejuvenator, a sort of lightsaber scythe, and I definitely mean lightsaber, you guys. Look at Peridot, looking down the barrel like she's Luke Skywalker.
Be careful with that. It's a rejuvenator.
Using that rejuvenator, Spinel is able to restore the factory setting, so to speak, of a gem. This causes Garnet to defuse, Pearl to go back to servitude, and Amethyst to completely forget who she is other than a mimic. It also causes Steven to lose his gem abilities.
I can't store things in Lion's Mane now. That's like the easiest thing I do.
Even Spinel is poofed and reset, shifting her into an even more Mickey Mouse-esque character. Even her ears stay hearts no matter how they move. That's a Mickey thing. Fun fact, his ears are always circles. I'm bringing up the animation because this design is so drastically different from other gems we've seen in Steven Universe before. Everyone is Cal Arts. She's Max Fleischer. This is a gem whose sole purpose is to entertain others. Furthermore, this style is one that animators have shifted away from, furthering the notion that Spinel is something obsolete that the world has moved on from. It's childish. This style and attitude change immediately placate Steven and the viewer. She's sweet. She's silly. We can't stay mad at Spinel. She can't even remember what she's done.
I said what now?
In an effort to return his friends back to normal, Steven must work to piece everyone, including himself, back together by revisiting the experiences that made them who they are. Spinel is by Steven's side for all of this. In her default mode, she believes she's meant to be Steven's best friend. She's goofy, carefree, seeming single-mindedly focused on fun and delivering a good time. Steven tries to cast Spinel to the sidelines while he focuses on saving his friends, but Spinel insists on staying, even going full Bilbo Baggins at one point when Steven stays by his side. This continued treatment and distancing ends up jogging Spinel's memory, though. We learn that in yet another total piece of crap move, Pink Diamond abandoned Spinel, instructing her to play a game of freeze, essentially, that Spinel played for 6,000 years. Side quest? Pink Diamond is just the worst. Even Steven is like, classic mom.
I can't believe Mom did that to you. Actually, I can totally believe it.
I love that this show has always taken the dead mom trope and turned it on its head. Rose wasn't a saint. Rose was often awful and selfish, and in this case, cruel. Spinel was the manifestation of Pink's inner child. While Pink was getting a colony and needed to be a big girl and put away her toys figuratively, she literally left the thing created to entertain her in complete isolation. With no second thought, Spinel was thrown away. This is a harrowing origin story, and her lashing out at Steven, what remains of Pink, becomes much more understandable. Her character design, the stripes on her face that turn out to be tear stains, become heartbreaking. You feel a complete shift in how you sympathize and empathize for this gem. Her physically remaining stagnant for years also reminds us of Steven Universe's biggest theme, changing. She literally stood still for thousands of years. And her first action was to hurt the person who did that to her, who trapped her and abandoned her. Spinel is eventually coaxed into returning to Earth with Steven to stop the drill, but misreads the situation and thinks Steven has just used her and that he plans to reset her. During this knockdown, drag-out fight, Spinel and Steven have this exchange. She says, "You can't change the way I feel." And he responds, "That's right. Only you can." This is a huge hurdle for victims of trauma and mental illness, things I think Spinel serves as a poster child for. In the Steven Universe the Movie reaction thread on Reddit, many Redditors have found a correlation between Spinel's actions and various mental conditions. The one that seemed to come up consistently throughout the thread was borderline personality disorder, or BPD. This condition is characterized by difficulties in regulating emotions, basically leading those with BPD to feel their feelings more intensely, acting impulsively, struggling with self-image and self-regulation. Those with BPD tend to engage in frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment by loved ones, and can experience inappropriate, intense, and uncontrollable anger, often followed by shame or guilt. We see Spinel react in such a way to her circumstances. I will say, again, this planetary isolation does seem like the sort of thing she has the right to be upset about. However, her immediately wanting to harm Steven, the extent to which she wants to hurt him, and her consequential breakdown wondering why she's feeling that way, is what's led many to make this BPD connection.
What am I doing? Why do I want to hurt you so bad? I'm supposed to be a friend. I just want to be a friend.
Not to mention that environmental factors, like experiencing traumatic life events such as neglect and separation, can lead to developing this disorder. Spinel fully believes that she can't change or improve, that she'll only get worse. If she was capable of being better, wouldn't she have been loved and taken along in the first place? Spinel feels unworthy after her abandonment. She feels less than. Even her name and gem affiliation, Spinel, refers to a lesser gem.
What did we talk about?
Equal life forms.
For centuries, the Spinel was known as the Great Imposter, masquerading as rubies in the royal crowns of European monarchs. Steven Universe has always been a series that takes on trauma head-on, and Spinel seems to be another exploration in healing mental pain. In an interview with TV Line, Rebecca Sugar said of Spinel, quote, "I really want people to take away the idea that it's okay to be a work in progress. You really need to want to feel better. That's really difficult to do. No matter how much you want to help somebody, you can't make them want that. No matter how far along you are on your journey, you're still going to be on it. It's not going to be over. So the sooner you can enjoy that you're always growing, the better it'll feel to be traveling through life." We see this beautifully illustrated through Spinel and Steven's interactions. Steven is happy to accept and forgive Spinel, but Spinel needs a fresh start. She needs the room to grow without people around her who know her past actions. That being said, I do wonder if living with the diamonds is the right move for Spinel. She's relegated back to being an entertainer, perhaps even a court jester.
It was only 6,000 years. I could do that standing on my head.
Ah! Only 6,000 years. It's true. That's nothing. And that goofy headstand. I like this gem.
And while all parties agreed that she isn't Pink, but was important to Pink, this feels like yet another codependent relationship that Spinel is engaging in. You let me know if going with them was the right move for all parties involved. While these themes of change and self-care and self-improvement are nothing new to Steven Universe, it hits home here. The show is known for destigmatizing mental health and trauma in an accessible medium. With Spinel, though, it felt fresh. Her redemption was well-earned, and she personified Rebecca Sugar's philosophies beautifully. That we are all capable of being the sort of person who deserves love, no matter what has happened to us, or what we've done. We're capable of still being that lovable being, despite our flaws. As a wise man once said, if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs. What else should be said when it comes to Spinel? Is anyone else confused how she got all that poison since she apparently was stuck on one planet the whole time? Anything important we left out or something you want to discuss? Hit us up in the comments section. For more videos, click to the left or join us on Roku or Plex. Thanks again to all of our patrons on Patreon, and thank you for watching. I'll see you, Space Cowboy. Okay, but seriously, how did she get all that poison in that drill? What the hell? What the hell, Rebecca Sugar?